Hi everyone. I have another story to share from the Landmark Herodotus as translated by Andrea L. Purvis. Amasis was a pretty hilarious king, I'm sure you'll agree, so I'm excited to share this with you. According to the editor of this book, Amasis was of the 26th dynasty of Egypt and ruled from 570 to 526 BC. He was from the Saitic nome, and Siuf is the name of his native city. The Egyptians at first despised Amasis and paid him no respect, since he had formerly been a common man and was not from a prominent family. But then Amasis won them over by his cleverness and sensible tact. Among his countless valuable possessions was a golden foot basin, in which Amasis himself and all his dinner guests always washed their feet. Well, Amasis broke this basin into pieces and had them reworked into a statue of a divinity, which he erected at the busiest location in the city, and the Egyptians frequently visited the statue and worshipped it with reverence. When Amasis learned how the Egyptian citizens were reacting to the statue, he summoned them and revealed that the statue had come from the foot basin, into which they had previously vomited, urinated, and placed their dirty feet. But now they were worshipping it with reverence. Then without further ado, he told them that he himself had turned out just like the foot basin. He had been a common man before, but now he was their king. And that is how he won over the Egyptians, so that they considered it just to become his slaves. Amasis established the following daily routine for himself. He worked diligently on serious matters of government, from dawn until the peak market hour. But after that, he would drink and banter with his drinking companions. So there's a footnote here that explains that peak market hour would be about 9 to 10 a.m. His close friends and family were disturbed by this behavior and admonished him. "Sire, you are not conducting yourself properly by pursuing worthless pastimes. You ought to be seated solemnly upon your stately throne, transacting affairs of state throughout the day. That way the Egyptians would know that they were being governed by a competent man, and your reputation would improve. But as it is, you are not acting at all like a king." Amasis retorted, "When archers need to use their bows, they string them tightly, but when they have finished using them, they relax them. For if a bow remained tightly strung all the time, it would snap and be of no use when someone needed it." The same principle applies to the daily routine of a human being. If someone wants to work seriously all the time and not let himself ease off for his share of play, he will go insane without even knowing it, or at least suffer a stroke. And it is because I recognize this maxim that I allot a share of my time to each aspect of life. That is how Amasis answered them. It is said that even before he was in office, Amasis loved to drink and crack jokes and was not at all a serious man. And further, whenever he ran out of supplies for drinking and enjoying himself, he would steal some more. When those he robbed claimed he had taken their goods, and he denied it, they would bring him to whatever oracle happened to be nearby. And although he was caught many times by the oracles, there were many other times when he got away with it. After he became king, he ignored those oracles that had released him from the charge of thievery, and made no provision for their upkeep, nor would he go to sacrifice to their gods, since he considered them to be worthless, as they presided over false oracles. But he took special care of all the oracles that had denounced him as a thief, believing their gods to be genuine, as they had provided oracles that did not lie.